It's about that time. What's up? And what's happening? Shout out T.I. Shout out everybody in the chat right now. We got a whole bunch of fellas. A whole bunch of wise guys right now. Already up here in the chat. 300 plus people right now tuning in. And it's not even 6 a.m. We're starting this one about 5 minutes early because we're feeling ourselves after the Monday live stream. And also, if you haven't heard already, out of everybody already, King James, LeBron himself, everybody on Twitter, everybody in the world right now is looking forward to this Thursday night football game because we're not used to these treats. We're not used to these game of the year candidates from ones that we've already seen a couple weeks back, let alone just good quality quarterbacks and good quality offenses playing each other. We're getting the Bears as of late on these Thursday night games and just these primetime games. So getting ourselves a little bit of a treat here, everybody. What's up? How y'all doing? I'm pumped. I see people are in here right now. Yo, we got 150 lineups crunched to my right. I'm sure I'm going to change some stuff. We're taking some bold stances because, look, we're trying to win first place. I'm not trying to come in here and split the prize pool if Kyler Murray's the captain with 30% of the field tonight or whatever it's going to be. So how y'all doing? Well, not 30%, but 30% of people are going to play him in the captain spot. Projections, rankings, ownership, everything's up on my other screen right now. We're going to answer your questions because that's what it is. Q&A based. Before we do, like, subscribe, do all those things. We're getting real close to 33,000 subs, and I think depending on how popular this stream is, hopefully people returning from Monday, we should do pretty good there. And if you're not already signed up for Super Draft, what are you waiting for? Hold your horses right now and go in the link down below the description to Super Draft. Use the promo code SAL so you can get yourself some free money up to $1,000 is a little bit of a bonus. They say, hey, Sal, you're bringing us some people? I see, I'm going to bring you some people. That's what we're going to do here. All right, we're going to reward those people with some money. That's what we're doing. Check it out. Super Draft, linked down below. Promo code SAL, get you some free money bonus. Top Super Draft plays for me tonight. If you're just going based on projection, once I put in some randomness, try and factor in ownership, you're going to see the quarterbacks up there. You're going to see Tyler Lockett. A 1.5x multiplier is way too high. But then you're going to start to see the kickers. Super Draft is where the kickers are viable more so than any other slate, more times than not, especially in the captain spot on Super Draft, where they're almost never viable, really ever, to me on Draftkings. So I see a lot of people in here. There's going to be a lot of people up in here, right? A lot of people are going to start asking questions. Within 20 minutes, we might have 1,000 people or so. So be sure to bring your question in here. I'll answer it. I'll take some time on it if it needs to take some time. So if your question doesn't get answered, try again. Just try not to spam. But just know that there's going to be like a bunch of people trying to ask questions as well. So if yours doesn't get answered, I apologize in advance. Ladies and gentlemen, fellas, somebody says, I need the Gyauf. Yeah, we had the Gyauf today. Hopefully you guys RSM are starting off well. That startled me, Sal, somebody said. Yeah, I was talking in the chat before, and I was about to go live after I said, all right, let's talk. And then I realized I still have my heat on because, oh my God. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people in the Northeast have been dealing with this, but it was in the 40s for a lot of the day today in North Carolina, and I'm not used to that here, right? If it goes to the 60s, it's jacket weather for me now, which I'm used to wearing, being in negative degree weather up north my whole life. Not used to it anymore, so I've had the heat on because it's been like fucking 60 degrees around here. Somebody said, refresh the video if you don't see him. What up? Metcalf, lowest owned captain out of the big five. Do I think he'll be the lowest owned, or do I have him as the lowest owned? I guess it's going to be a very important question, depending on what you're asking there. So let me pull up my ownership specific to these guys right now. I also want to be able to, I'm going to have to pull back up my exposures. I think I X'd them out, sadly. But let me pull up my exposures right now from Fantasy Cruncher. Pull these bad boys back up. Hopefully they're still in there, but there's not really anything to change. I've been watching your stuff for a while now. About to try this Super Draft. Why not, right? Yeah, everybody try the Super Draft. I'm sure there's people in the chat that can tell you about their success with it. A lot of people have been having success. Every single Showdown slate, I've gotten a screenshot of somebody winning literally at least $500, and $500 is the bare minimum. I've had people showing me that last slate, yet again, split it, first place, $4,500. We had somebody in the Discord. Same guy who won first place the other night, or second place, pretty crazy. You need to go back north. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go back north. I miss the people there, but the weather is the issue. That's going to be always the debate. Lockett is good to play, right? Lockett will know at 650. They're saying that he's leaning towards playing, but you never know with the Seattle team. Pete Carroll's never the most straightforward in his day. Hey, Sal, best play under 3,300. It'll be DJ Dallas. DJ Dallas is almost a lock for me tonight. I think I have 90-something. I have 98% DJ Dallas tonight. It's hard not to get there. I mean, when the guy's projecting out for me for close to 9 fantasy points, I would not be shocked to see him score over 10 easily, and he's $600. He's going to be heavily owned, maybe 25% owned, maybe even more than that. Not sure a lot of people will, people playing optimizers will get a lot of him. Hand billing, I'm not sure a lot of people will feel secure with Carlos Hyde back, but I feel secure. I think he's going to run 15 to 20 routes. I think he's going to see 5 to 6 carries at minimum on the ground, which normally lends itself to 10 touches at that price tag, and maybe half of them are receptions. So DJ Dallas is strongly in play for me, obviously. Starter sit Carlos Hyde. I think Carlos Hyde is a pretty nice play. We don't know what Bo Scarborough's role is going to be. Alex Collins is on the practice squad. If they re-signed him again for, I think, the third time, they'd have to pay him another contract, so they're not doing that. So Bo Scarborough will be active. I don't expect Bo Scarborough to have that much work. He hasn't really been practicing, so I think it's going to be Carlos Hyde's backfield with DJ Dallas sprinkled in, and Dallas more so as the pass-catching back. Any love for Swain tonight? No, I didn't get any Swain. I was surprised to actually see, digging more into Swain, how many routes he's actually run this year for Seattle. But separation is his issue. Like, he got up to a luck box start last week and didn't do anything after that. Sal, good luck as always. If Carson is out, I'm considering playing Hyde and Dallas together. Good value in all of their spots. Yeah, I actually set a specific rule that I don't want running backs from the same team unless it's Seattle. So this is a one-game slate, so obviously what that means is I don't want to be getting Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake in the same lineup, but I'm fine getting Carlos Hyde and DJ Dallas in the same lineup. Normally when a guy is, well, if he's projected out for close to 10 fantasy points and he's less than $1,000 on a showdown slate, I don't really care like who he's paired with. Like, the rule doesn't matter at that point because he's so cheap. And like, for him to pay off, for DJ Dallas, even if he busted tonight and got like 5 fantasy points, right? 6 fantasy points, and he came in below the projection by a decent amount, for him to do that, it doesn't even hurt Carlos Hyde. His 5 carries for 17 yards and 3 catches for 12 yards, whatever it is, right? That doesn't hurt Carlos Hyde's upside to score 80 yards and a touchdown, right? Same exact thoughts from up here near Charlotte now. Nice. Yeah, I was in Charlotte last Friday, actually, for the first time. I just did a day trip. Seemed pretty nice. Seemed pretty cool, the city. I liked how walkable it was. The outskirts seemed like very residential instead of almost like, I don't know, like most of the time outskirts, there's not much there anymore. You're kind of by highways. What do we got here? Dallas is on the practice squad. DJ Dallas is not on the practice squad, no. DJ Dallas, Carlos Hyde, and Bo Scarborough are the running backs that will be activated tonight, or will be at least optional to play tonight. We'll know the official inactives and actives at 6:50, but those are the 3 that are going to play. Alex Collins is on the practice squad, not DJ Dallas. Brandon says, fellas. Nice. Alex Collins, my thoughts on him. He's on the practice squad. He will not be playing tonight unless they sign him to a new contract, and we get that news within the next 50 minutes. Is Murray a must-lock at MVP? Not for me. I'm playing 0% Murray and 0% Russell Wilson in the captain spot. That is the way that I choose to get different tonight. So let's have a little bit of a conversation about the captain spot. These quarterbacks are fantastic. I have no issues putting these quarterbacks at their mobile upside in the captain spot. Let me fix this little camera right here quickly. There we go. I have no issues putting them there. Like, if you wanted to play one line and do it, go for it. I'm just making my stance by saying that mobile quarterbacks and wide receivers have a lot of variance in terms of their upside, right? Murray can rush for 100 yards and a touchdown, and on the ground have 20 fantasy points, right? 19 with the bonus. But I'm just going to bank on the cheaper wide receivers that normally will have more variance being the ones that I want to get to tonight. And the biggest reason why just comes down to ownership. Like, Kyler and Russ, they might combine for 50% of the captain ownership tonight. The 2 most expensive players that are quarterbacks, yes, they're mobile quarterbacks. Yes, they're in very good passing offenses, both having good matchups, especially Kyler. But price point is expensive and really high ownership. It's not the exact same thing as Webb Simpson being extremely highly owned at the highest price point, which is just brutal if you really played that chalk in a major way. But, yeah, I'm going to personally be fading the quarterbacks tonight. Again, if they go out there and they ball out, just know it's a good play to play the quarterbacks in the captain spot. It's fine. I don't think it's optimal, though, so I'm not doing it. And what that allows me to do is there's like 7 wide receivers on this slate. 5 or 6 of them, I think, have captain upside, depending on their price points and just overall upside. Like those top 3 guys, Hopkins, Lockett, and DK, I'd rather starting to get to 25% each of those guys than just have like 10% of them because I'm getting so much of the quarterbacks. So I like getting over the weight on those guys tonight. Bo says, hey, just sign up for Patreon. Let's get some Dollarooskies. Who's your best captain for GPPs on Super Draft? Yeah, so I'm going to run the Patreon or the Super Draft stuff after this. I did the Draftkings stuff right before. I can even run it while I'm live right now. I assume once I start to put in some randomness that I'm probably going to get a good amount of Lockett in the captain spot there with the 1.5x multiplier. And then it'll sprinkle in with all the other guys in there. I assume Lockett will be my highest own. But I think that the kickers are always interesting in the captain spot on Super Draft because they have the great multipliers, 3x multipliers. If you're not familiar, this is the sponsor of the show, the logo up above. Yeah, it is more advantageous to play kickers. They don't have the 3x multiplier tonight, but 2.65, 2.55. They grade out as top 5 projection plays for me on Super Draft, which normally means that they'll start to grade out as pretty good overall plays, these kickers. So kickers are sneaky because they just won't pick up ownership. Nobody will want to captain them because they don't captain them on DraftKings that much, but they're much more viable on Super Draft. I like Lockett, but I think the kickers are interesting. Come on, Sal, give us a little FanDuel advice. Telling my buddies to watch and subscribe. Thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate that. Look, Lawrence, I can't pull stuff out of my hat. I don't play FanDuel. I haven't opened up a FanDuel slate in like a year. plus now, like a while ago for the NFL, like beginning of last year. I just personally don't play FanDuel, so I can't give advice on stuff I don't know, right? I don't have a cooking channel here because although I like to cook a lot, I'm not an expert or anywhere near that or enough advice to be telling people how to cook properly. So I have no idea what the prices are on FanDuel. I have no idea what the prices have been in the last year and a half on FanDuel. I just know that I like DraftKings more. I feel more secure with DraftKings and having my money in there. FanDuel has done some sketchy stuff that we don't have to get into, but pretty recently has done some even more sketchy stuff in terms of not paying out people after their site crashed and didn't have live scoring. So, yeah, I don't have much to say about FanDuel because I don't play it. Bo Scarborough are playing tonight. We'll know at 6:50 if he'll be active, but apparently he's going to be on deck for them based on reports. Isabella at the captain spot. I actually have Isabella allowed to get into my captain exposures tonight. I believe so, and I got 4% Isabella in the captain spot. Really cheap captain. I currently have 5 captains. They're all wide receivers currently for me, and I feel okay with that. Doesn't mean you only have to play wide receivers. That's just the way that I'm getting it based on my projections. Yo, Sal, what's your ratio of Lockett versus Metcalf tonight? So if I'm just looking at, I have 13% more Lockett in the captain spot and 6% more Lockett in the utility. So I have 19% more Lockett tonight than Metcalf. Yo, let's win some Dollarooskies. I'm not trying to go to work tomorrow, says Mike. My man Mike trying to take down first place. I posted it earlier on Twitter. I said in the little clip from this morning Showdown video, I said, yo, somebody could be a millionaire tonight. And I mean, based on the amount of people that are going to be in this live stream, maybe we get to like 1,000, 1,200, somewhere around there. We're already at 900 in the first 15 minutes, 10 minutes of me being live. There's a decent chance. I mean, better than just me playing, right? Decent chance somebody in here will get it. Do you like Christian Kirk tonight at the captain position? Do I have any Kirk captain? I don't know if I have Kirk captain. I got no Christian Kirk in the captain spot. Josh says, great content. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for the super chat. He says, what percentage of DK Metcalf do you have at the captain and utility? I have 20% DK Metcalf in the captain spot, and I have him 21% in utility. How much Greg Olsen do you have? So I have 6% Greg Olsen. He's my highest on tight end. The emergence and the opening up, that is, of DJ Dallas with the news of Alex Collins being on the practice squad and the unlikeliness of Travis Homer doubtful and Carlos Hyde leaning towards doubtful to actually play, you're probably going to actually see a lot less tight ends be in optimal lineups tonight more times than not. So I don't get anywhere near as much tight ends now. I have 6, 5, and 30% ownership to the tight ends tonight, and I could do with none of it because DJ Dallas opens up and he's higher projected than all of those guys that I have right now and way cheaper. And also you have Andy Isabella down there who looks similar to those guys with more upside. What are you thinking about Drake tonight? Yeah, so I end up liking Drake more than Edmonds. I like both Seattle backs more than Kenyon Drake. I think he's fine. I'm getting a good amount of all these running backs. A couple of lineups with DJ Dallas and Carlos Hyde together, I'm sure of that, based on the fact that I have almost 100% Dallas and 34% Hyde, so I would assume that they're overlapping a good amount. If I set a rule to not get Hyde, let's see if I set a rule to not get Hyde in Dallas, because I don't know if I want like 30% Hyde in Dallas lineups, and it seems like that's what's going to be the case right now. So there might need to be a rule set here to limit the running backs in general. I had a rule set to limit Arizona running backs to just 1 per team, but I allowed Seattle's to get in there. So let's just set a rule to limit running backs per team, running backs from the same team to 1 player. I almost put 0 players. That wouldn't have been good. And now I'm going to rerun this because after I look at this a little bit more, I don't want a third of my lineups to be focusing on Dallas and Carlos Hyde together. So let's see what that ends up doing to my overall. I think it's going to bump out Carlos Hyde a lot out of my exposures because Dallas is just that good of a play. So when the optimizer is going through, it's going to say, okay, don't put 2 running backs from Seattle together. And that's what just happened. Wow. Okay. So this is pretty big news. I see people commenting, but I want to finish up this question. If you try and limit, so at first I wasn't limiting Seattle running backs. I allowed them to get in the same lineup. I got 98% DJ Dallas, and I got like 30% Carlos Hyde, which meant that they were in a lot of lineups together. Now if I set a rule, I get 91% Dallas, so it comes down a little bit, and only 5% Carlos Hyde. So that's a big difference. 25% Carlos Hyde. That's a big move. I lean to make that as of right now. So is Alex Collins not playing or starting? He's not with the team as of right now, based on the most recent reports. He's on the practice squad. Swain or Dallas tonight? Dallas by far. Sal, thoughts on Carlos Hyde at the captain spot? No interest for me tonight. Any lineups with both quarterbacks? I'm sure there is. Let me just see. I have a lot of lineups tonight. I'm 150. Yeah, so like a lot of my highest projected lineups have both quarterbacks. The fact that DJ Dallas opens up allows you to get to both of these quarterbacks. Yeah, so a lot of my lineups have both quarterbacks in them. A lot of my higher projected ones at least. Single entry, David Moore in the captain spot. I have 3% David Moore captain spot, so I assume that's going to be above the field. Just introduce you to 3 of my friends. They are in here now. Hey, shout out your friends. Who said that? Don Mega 6? Don Mega 6. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. The word of mouth marketing is the biggest thing that we can do on this channel. I appreciate it a ton. Shout out to you, my man. And shout out your friends if they're in here. Let me know. DJ Dallas is running back too. Yeah, he is. But he's going to see all the passing game work. And this is not going to be, no doubt in my mind, this is not going to be Carlos Hyde comes in and takes 25 carries, right? This is going to be Carlos Hyde off injury, sees maybe 15 carries, maybe 12 to 15. Dallas is going to see 5 to 6 and run 20 routes. And if he's running 20 routes in this offense, you could be damn sure he's seeing 3 to 5 targets. And with a very high catch rate as a running back, if you get 3 catches for 20 yards tonight and 5 carries for 17, those 6 fantasy points, and that's a low projection. I have him closer to 9, but those 6 fantasy points are going to pay off huge below $1,000. Like, that's what you're hoping for. That's like the punt tight end at $200 that just catches a touchdown. That's our Nick Boyle play, except now it's a lot more secure. Any Dan Arnold with both of the tight ends a little bit banged up? Yeah, Max Williams and Darryl Daniels, the other guys out there. I have 5% Dan Arnold. I'm very much debating on just canceling out these tight ends. Everyone is going to have more in the captain spot. No, not true at all. David Moore is not going to be owned in the captain spot by any means. David Moore is probably going to have, I would assume, less than 1% captain ownership or right around 1%. David Moore is not going to be highly owned. David Moore does not project out. In theory, he sounds like a decent play. He does not project out as a good play. The reason is his price point. He's $4,800. He should really be like a $3,800 player tonight. So a lot of optimizers aren't going to put him in anywhere for the most part. I think if you're playing Kirk, you need some at captain. He very well could be a play today. Yeah, I mean, Kirk's in play for me, not in the captain spot. I have some Kirk in my utility spot. I have Christian Kirk, fine play for sure. I have Christian Kirk at 15% owned right now overall. I think that'll be probably below the field. How's your kicker exposure looking? Yeah, I have kickers. Only one per lineup at most. I'm getting like 20, 25% of each of these kickers. Won't have any with both of them in the same lineup. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of kickers when there's so much value on these slates, but these kickers are projecting out really good. The best that I've seen kickers project out for so far in these showdown slates that I've covered. Sal, thanks again. It's Laz Gets Fit, 100K winner because of you, my man. Hey, me. That's all you. If I spew some facts or whatever it is that makes you think one way or the other, but then you end up putting the whole lineup together, that's all you, my man. Yeah, Laz Gets Fit. He was in there the other night, had a very generous donation to the Super Chat on our huge record-setting Monday of over 1,800 people. Shout out all you people in here. Shout out all the patrons. We just crossed 600 patrons. If you want to get in here, you can check that out, linked down below. But my man took down 100K Dollaruskis. David Lazowski, I don't want to say your last name wrong, my man, but Laz Gets Fits is the name of his own if you want to study some of his lineups and stuff. My man be balling out there. Will Drake get more work, more than 12 fantasy points tonight? I do have Drake projected for more than 12 fantasy points, but it's nothing major. I have Drake projected for 12.8, so I have him over 12. Nothing crazy, though. If you're talking about Monkey Knife Fight, one of our other sponsors, I think he looks decent for over 12 there, but it's not to a point where I would actually bet it, the percentage-wise. What's up, Sal? What's going on, Sean Preston? How you doing? Collins practice squad, Bo promoted. That's what the recent report said. We'll know in 35 minutes for sure the running backs that are active. I don't have confidence to do it, but do you think Edmonds at captain is really good play? Think he scores? No, I don't think he's a good play at the captain spot. Don't have any interest in him at the captain spot. Who do you like better, Disley or Hollister tonight? If you force me to pick one of those players, I have no ownership towards Disley and I have some ownership towards Hollister. So I would go with Hollister for you, good sir. No hesitancy around Lockett's injury. Look, he's questionable. If Lockett plays, I'm going to assume that he's a full go. This is a big game for them, so he could be playing banged up and he could be less than 100%, but there's really no way to be telling that stuff, right? A lot of the times people will try and, I don't know how you project that in. I don't want to middle it because you're never going to get the right projection. If you try to project a player that might be hurt, might be impacted for the game, and you start projecting him less and trying to middle it as if he's going to be 75% of himself, you're normally never going to get that right? You're normally never going to. They'll either not be themselves or most of the time they'll be 100% themselves, which is what we've seen for a lot of outcomes this year. Aaron Jones a couple weeks back being questionable for a game. Ends up getting 20 touches. Nick Chubb this past week ends up balling out when people are worried about his questionable status, and then he ends up returning, right? So I project players that are questionable unless we have news that they're going to be 50% tonight or 75%. If all the news is that they're questionable and we don't have any news that they're going to be limited, I project them as if they're 100% go. Now, if he's ruled out in 35 minutes, well then, yeah, David Moore looks really good. Freddie Swain starts to get a little bit of a bump up, that type of stuff. Tight ends. Am I burning money by fading both quarterbacks? I'm not playing either quarterback in the captain spot. If you're playing one lineup and you're not playing either quarterback, there's a lot of good wide receivers on the slate. I think one of the quarterbacks is probably going to be needed unless this game just goes to shit, right? And that's what you're hoping for then. So if you don't think either of the quarterbacks, if you're not going to play either quarterback, you better be playing running backs, right? And they're going to secure the touchdowns, or they're going to spread this passing out enough that it's like a Hopkins 2-touchdown game. But that's all that Murray does. He doesn't get much on the ground. So you better be hoping that you secure all the other touchdowns on the slate and that these quarterbacks are just sitting there with really one touchdown apiece. So you probably want some running backs, maybe some defenses. Things get a little bit wonky, lower scoring game. Join late. How much Metcalf at the captain? 20% currently. DJ Dallas at captain? Not for me. I see what you're trying to do there. He's very cheap. You can try and jam in all the rest of the studs and hope that Dallas can go for like a 20-point game if indeed he starts to just become the hot hand approach, or he sees like 8 targets and he brings in like 6 or 7 of them. I don't think DJ Dallas is completely out of question to get any captain ownership towards. Like, if you're playing a lot of lineups and you get like 2 lineups, 3 lineups with him in the captain spot, that's okay to me. Like, I'll run right now DJ Dallas captain lineups and let's see how much I get. Fucking get a good amount. Like, this is why I don't want to run this. So yeah, DJ Dallas in the captain spot is a fine play to me. I get like 10% DJ Dallas, 10 to 15% DJ Dallas captain lineups, and that's just so much. Like, I can't do that. But if you're hand building, yeah, DJ Dallas looks like a not optimal but definitely viable captain option tonight. I don't think I'm gonna run it though. That's way too much captain DJ Dallas that I don't need to. But the thing is, you jam in both quarterbacks, then you jam in a Hopkins plus one of the Seattle receivers, if not both of them, right? Like, the optimal lineup then might be Dallas and just play every other one of those top 5 plays tonight. Sal, give us a final score prediction. 6-3. Thoughts on playing both quarterbacks in the flex? Yeah, I think it's fine. Faderuski! Hey, yeah, we're Faderuski in the quarterbacks in the captain spot tonight for sure. DJ Dallas is going to win so many $1 million tonight in the captain spot, isn't he? Favorite super draft play? Isabella, right? No, not Isabella for me. Isabella looks like, honestly, a bad super draft play. Not terrible, but a bad one. Like, Isabella right now is not even in my top 10 super draft plays tonight. Banga Bofo says, hey Sal, top 5 super draft plays. Shout out Sam VAQ. Who's Sam VAQ? Yeah, I mean, the kickers look good. The quarterbacks look good. Lockett, Seattle receivers. The basic difference on super draft is that obviously multipliers, right? So a lot of things are different on there. But for tonight's slate, a lot of guys are going to look similar in terms of how they grade out. The biggest difference is that DJ Dallas doesn't look as good because his multiplier is only 2.15x, but the kickers look a lot better over on Superdraft than on Draftkings. Superdraft projections in capital letters, yeah, they're on Patreon. They're linked down below. I could throw the link in the description right now to Patreon. You can check it out. We just crossed 600 active Patrons. Shout out all you. You all rock. We're up to 601 as I look right now. But there's the link. You can check it out. You can get yearly or monthly pricing on the Patreon stuff. Get a ton of information. Who's your favorite running back for tonight? DJ Dallas, and it's not even close right now. Who's going to stop Hopkins tonight? Yeah, probably nobody. Probably nobody. They're going to throw whoever they want to try to throw out there at Hopkins, and it's not going to be all that much of a difference. Seahawks elected not to sign Collins off the practice squad ahead of Thursday's game against the Cardinals. Yep, exactly, because they would have had to sign him to another contract. So last time you ended up seeing Trey Flowers guard Hopkins, right? And Hopkins went for 10, 103, and a touchdown on 12 targets. Right? 160 air yards, which was the most that he's seen all season long. Had 24.3 fantasy points, which was his third best or fourth best performance because of the Hail Mary this past week. But yeah, I'm not projecting Hopkins for 24 points, but I'm projecting him pretty close at like 22 points. 6-3 is kind of high scoring, says Ryan. The Seymour Butts get any run tonight? Dun-dun-dun. Shh. What site and optimizer are you using? I use my own site. This stuff is all behind me, is all stuff that I make. I use make my own projections, ownership projections, and all that type of stuff. But I use the Optimizer Fantasy Cruncher. But everything else I do is mine, and the site is linked in the description right now if you want to check it out. It's basically a Patreon with all my information. What do we got here? Hey Sal, new Patreon here, says Corey Russell. Shout out my man Corey. What's up, man? How y'all doing? Welcome to the family. Welcome to the team. Yo, Sal, Brewski's in the house. Love your content. Highlight of my day, says John Emanuel. That's awesome, man. Yeah, shout out you. Shout out the Brewskis. The t-shirt designs we showed you all on Monday night. Yeah, if I can just get my lazy ass to post them tomorrow into the Teespring store, because I got a bunch of busty t-shirts in there. You don't want those. But the new t-shirt designs, we got about 10, 12 of them. They're nice. The Brewskis, the Dollar Brewskis. A lot of stuff in there right now. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll post them tomorrow, hopefully, if I remember. Thoughts on playing Hyde and Dallas together? I think that's fine. Sal, or Hyde and Dallas together. Let me run that back. I had it as fine earlier. I'm not doing it now. It ended up giving me like 25% lineups with both Hyde and Dallas together. Maybe that's okay. I ended up doing that earlier this year with Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones on a showdown slate, and it worked out. They were in the winning lineup. So, yeah, you can run them together. Like, if you're playing one lineup, I am completely fine getting them together. I just don't want my exposures to have that much. I could set a cap, but I don't really like doing that. Percentage of Rodgers in the captain spot. Yeah, quarterbacks I don't want in the captain spot tonight, but I'm always going to be getting at least 5% Aaron Rodgers in the captain spot tonight. You're going to throw at least one lineup in the Millie Maker on DK Boss? No, not for me. I don't play the Millie Maker. I say I don't play the Millie Maker with the caveat that on main slates I throw my single entry or my main 3 max lineups into it. out of FOMO if I have a lineup that pops up for like 255 points and I don't have it in there for the $60 investment on like the couple $1,000s that I haven't played, might as well do it. But yeah, on these showdown slates, I don't play the Millie Maker. How much Aaron Rodgers do you have? Yeah, so 5%. Yo, Sal, happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Do you like Chase Edmonds for the captain spot tonight? Says Marco. What up, Marco? How you doing? Yeah, I'm not going to get the Chase Edmonds in the captain spot tonight. Sal, does Hyde get goal line work? Yes, I think he will. Kenyon Drake or Damian Harris? So this man's talking about season long. I go with Kenyon Drake there. Game environment's too good to pass up. David Moore, good play tonight. David Moore is going to actually be probably a better play if you're hand building than if you're optimizing, because I currently have, let me see how much David Moore total I have. I have 14% total David Moore tonight. I have him projected on Patreon ownership-wise to be seeing around 10%, 8%. So I guess I'm above the field on David Moore. His price is the issue, right? His price is the issue, especially now that DJ Dallas opened up. You have a cheaper Larry Fitzgerald and a cheaper Andy Isabella. So the price on David Moore is the issue. Now he has a touchdown upside. He runs a lot of routes. He ran a career high in routes last week at 31. So I think he's definitely a strongly in play. I have more than the field right now, but the price is the reason I'm not getting more. Yo, Sal, why do I like Isabella? Yeah, I mean, Isabella is running less and less routes every single week. This is a game environment that you can like him in. He ran a good amount of routes and had a decent game last time versus Seattle. Well, no, he didn't actually. He got overthrown in the touchdown pass. I believe that was that game. Is Dallas a good play in Superdraft? No, I wouldn't be playing Dallas in Superdraft. That does not look good in my Superdraft projections on Patreon down below. Would you play defense tonight and Hyde and Dallas in the same lineup? If I'm playing Dallas tonight, I'm playing 0% of the defenses. They came up in none of my lineups, even though I kept them in to be crunched. I got no defenses tonight, so I'm not playing any of the defenses. Is Carson out? Chris Carson is doubtful, likely going to be out. He went from being likely to play on Monday to questionable to play to doubtful to play, all in like a 2-day span. With all the projections you have, do you set a minimum fantasy points total? A minimum fantasy points total, what do you mean? Like for my lineup to, what do you mean? Are you talking about like for like what the actual lineup will need to win a tournament? Is that what you're talking about? Join us on Patreon, says Cody. Yeah, shout out you. Zachary McFadden, my man was just in the Discord. He finally hooked up. He says, the pizza was the bomb. Enjoy your night, brother. Let's win some $Rooskies. Shout out Zach McFadden. Shout out my man Zach making homemade pizzas. I'm going to be home on Wednesday. I'm heading home up north, Pennsylvania, to see the family and everything for a couple of days for Thanksgiving. I cannot wait for that. I'm definitely going to be making some of that homemade big ziti, but maybe I can get my dad to start whipping up some homemade calzones. Are you getting any Dan Arnold? I think I got like 5%, and it's like the least of any player that I even want tonight. Like he's probably the guy that I have ownership towards that I literally don't even want any of it. After mentioning hand building versus optimizing, curious on your opinion on hand building. Do you only go optimizer? Would you always suggest that, or with lesser entries would you hand build? I would hand build. Now, all of my 3 max lineups, I look at my 150 max lineups and my top projected, and then I start to weigh ownership just to get ideas. And there's times where I'll just take one of those lineups as my 3 max, and I'll be like, yes, I like this. This is what I want to do, right? On main slates, that is, and also on GPPs. So I think that the optimizer is going to be your friend in terms of showing you things that you don't see. Like you can't hand build every single combination in a certain amount of time. So yeah, I like the optimizers a lot. I think hand building, if you're playing just single entry and 3 max, gives you a lot more ability to get different, a better chance to do things that you can't do like anywhere else. In terms of like how much time it's going to be taking you and just different stacks that you can see. So I think hand building is fine. I like it. I think it's fun, but I definitely rely on an optimizer a good amount as well to at least show me some of the things that I can't see. Mark Turner says, guess I was right about the Collins. Yeah, Alex Collins, I think, Jeff Radcliffe or something posted on Twitter about Alex Collins going to the practice squad. I saw all the stuff about him going to the practice squad, but I didn't know that it was the 3rd time that they sent him to the practice squad, or if they activated him, it would have been the 3rd time they activated him. I thought that it was only the 2nd time, but I guess in between the first game that he was active in the 2nd game, they sent him back down and then brought him back up. And then after your 2nd time, if you bring him up a 3rd time, you have to sign him to a new contract. I don't know if that's specific to Alex Collins or just the rules in general. But I know that the rules are if you go to the practice squad during the week, you can come back up. Like that happened to Kalen Ballage last week. Went to the practice squad, he came back up, and he had 20-plus touches. So I thought that there was the exact same thing going on with Alex Collins, but I guess there was a contract situation there. I need my head exam. Jaguars will beat the Steelers. Go Jags. Shout out you. Single entry advice, yeah, on these showdown slates, it's tough. It's really tough to get different than single entry. A lot of people are going to be playing the captain quarterback, so I'd probably just steer clear of the captain quarterbacks in single entry. And really just in general, that's going to be my advice tonight. ZB says, have a brewski on us from your Patreon crew. Keep up the great work, Sal. Everyone else, like and support. My man ZB is awesome. Check out Patreon, definitely. Shout out ZB. Appreciate you all the time. I'm going to have a brewski on you guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sal, if you win big tonight, invest in Christmas tree companies. They booming. Yeah, I'm going to go get a Christmas tree after Thanksgiving, like a live one. Last year we didn't. We just did the fake one, but I think it'll be, I like the experience of cutting down that tree yourself. Do you prefer DK or Hopkins tonight? I'm going to get more Hopkins all across the board. Hopkins is going to be my favorite overall captain. And Lockett's close. Favorite overall wide receiver is Hopkins, though. Wait, so do you play 3 different lineups in 3-max or just one? I play 3 different lineups in 3-max. Not on Showdowns, though. I don't play 3-max on Showdown. Sometimes I play the single entry. Usually it's just 150s. I don't get a lot of exposure to these Showdown slates. Like, if I'm playing a couple $1,000s on a Sunday main slate, it's going to be probably less than $1,000 on these. Like, I'll play 150 max, a couple 150 maxes, and if I don't play like the $180 single entry, or usually, it hasn't even been a single entry this year. It's been like fucking 30 max or whatever for the 180, so it's not that fun. But I like 150 max, like everything but the Millie Maker, because I just don't want to be throwing my money away if it's like some of the lower stake stuff, especially if there's like $3 150s on these. There's a lot of good 20 max lineups I've actually played on Showdown this year, 20 max tournaments, because that's like the only quality tournaments there are on these Showdowns. Did you see the concussion news about DeAndre Swift? Yeah, I saw that he entered the concussion protocol. What did he get concussed Wednesday at practice or something? He's probably not going to play. Dallas or Isabella tonight? I like Dallas more. Why not YOLO it and go Dallas at a captain in my single bowl? Yeah, go for it. Can I put your projections into Fantasy Cruncher? You sure can. You sure can. Just go to upload data on Fantasy Cruncher and copy and paste them in. Or you can use an Excel sheet if you want. Does Nick Bellamore get more playing time with Carson out? No. I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, he's definitely not on the active roster. He's on the practice squad, if anything, but there's a chance he's not even on the team anymore. No, he does not. Carlos Hyde is back, and now Bo Scarborough is the running back that's going to be taking on that running back 3 role tonight. Who's your highest owned tight end? It's Jacob Hollister at like 6% right now. Hey, so would you play both kickers? I would not, no. George Little for another must play? Yeah, man. So, there's no George Little. When my friends were here a couple of times, they came down and visited me from hours and hours away that they live. We had some special guests on the show. Shout out Nick Boyle. Shout out the other game, which was Cameron Brate, who Cameron Brate was fine too. He had like 5.4 fantasy points for a $1,000 play, which is always going to be fine for you. Sal, does your family drill you on fantasy football when you get home? No, actually they don't. Like, my little brother will sometimes ask me questions here and there. He's in college right now at Penn State. But he'll ask me questions, text me and stuff, but no, nobody drills me. My dad plays fantasy. I joined one of his leagues. That's how I got into it like a decade ago when I was like 13, 14, maybe even younger than that. He'll if we're talking on the phone, we'll talk about fantasy like for a little bit, but I don't get drilled on it, no. Like, my friends normally, we talk about fantasy all the time. That's why I'm doing this. Like, it's my hobby. I enjoy it, but never like drill me on it. Dan Arnold as captain and build around that? Never in my life. Hyde tonight or McKissick? I'd be going with McKissick. You got to love them targets from the noodly arm Alex Smith out there. Now, shout out Alex Smith, comeback player of the year. Sal, what makes Andy Isabella a yes over a maybe? Just the value we need in this slate? Yeah, so DJ Dallas is the best value on the slate, but Andy Isabella I'm getting a lot of. Like, if I'm getting, right now, I'm getting Andy Isabella in a total of 18% of my lineups, which is going to be, I assume, maybe that's not even above the fucking field tonight. That might be like around the field. So maybe Isabella's like a borderline maybe to a yes for me. Like, DJ Dallas is a much stronger yes, but I assume picks up more ownership. The reason Andy Isabella's a yes is I'm getting like 20% of a guy that's $2,000. So it's more so where he's priced. Like, if you're picking a value play, it's DJ Dallas. But then outside of that, Isabella would be my next favorite play below like $5,000. Does Penn State reach out to you for donations? No, they do not. I'm sure I'll start to get like telemarketing calls when they don't have like the places open. Like, there was literally a place that I applied for. It was going to pay like $7.25 an hour. And then I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, going to go sit here for 4 or 5 hours a night and make enough that I'm going to spend on Chipotle in like 2 or 3 fucking days when I get my guac and double fucking chicken over there. And yeah, it's called like Nittany Connect. I don't even fucking remember. Nittany or Lion Line. I think it's called Lion Line. And they just call alumni. Like, they literally just cold call alumni all day and like ask them for donations. Like, I cannot think of a worse job. Probably would have been good from a sales standpoint of getting told no a bunch. But no, they haven't called me yet. And there is I would like to give scholarships to certain faculty areas that I believe in at Penn State, but for the most part, they fleeced me out of $90K that we paid off. We were able to pay that shit off, but I'm good on giving them more. Already 1.4K watching. Hey, shout out to all 1.4K of you. We broke a record over 1,800 in the last stream. Let's see if we can break that record tonight by getting to 2,000 live people. Tell your mother, your brother, your aunt, your uncles. Any thoughts on Alex Collins? Yeah, don't play him because he's not playing tonight. He's on the practice squad. He's not playing. Do you have Isabella projected for more points than DJ Dallas? No, I have DJ Dallas for almost double the points. Left my ass off. Double fucking chicken over here. Yeah, so like sometimes I go half. I don't get Chipotle nearly as much. I lived above a Chipotle at Penn State. I got Chipotle like 4 to 5 fucking times a week. And I was health conscious with it in terms of what I used and got. But yeah, sometimes half steak, half chicken, but it gets a little spicy. So double chicken's like a lot of the go-to. Any chance you do some NHL content after NFL is done? Nah, not for me, man. I love the NHL playoffs, but not for me. NBA is my other big thing. I love NBA. It's my favorite sport to actually watch. NFL and NBA are up there. Golf as well for DFS content that I like to make and just play DFS in general. But NBA, much more over NHL for me. Sal, drop an analytical knowledge and only 199 likes. What the fuck? Somebody says. Hey, like the button. Hyde is in, right? Still a yes for Dallas? Yep, Hyde is in. More points. Isabella or Myers tonight? I have Myers projected for more. Is David Moore a lock? Not by any means. So many people go to college for shit degrees. Yeah, so many people do. I didn't, but I was lucky enough that in like 5 months of my job search, after getting told in the final round for like 6 different jobs that I probably didn't even want, that somebody else with more experience got the job, and I was just like, okay, cool. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do this YouTube thing full time, because at that point, I was making like $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month last August. Or no, last like May, like just off of basketball and baseball. NFL wasn't even here. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try this. And if for some reason this doesn't work at all, then I'll just try again at this job market. Because this job market thing, it kind of sucks. You got to do the same interview with the same like man or woman who just hates their job as an interviewer, and you say the most basic stuff and anything. If you're in an interview and you say something that's just a little bit, if you know what they want to hear and you say something that's just a little bit well thought out, you're like the best candidate in the world. Like acing interviews has to be the easiest thing getting past the first couple of rounds of interviews. And then it comes down to basically just like a coin flip when you're like in the 5th round of an interview. Don't know if I should put in Lockett over Metcalf. What do you think? I have more Lockett tonight. I don't have a strong stance. The optimizer's giving me more Lockett. I have Lockett and Metcalf projected for both basically 19 points. So that's why I get more Lockett, because he's cheaper. Do you have more Lockett or Metcalf? More Lockett. Why you got Andy Isabella as a yes? Yeah, I mean, he's like a borderline yes or maybe. I can put him as a maybe. He's right on that line for me. I got 20% Andy Isabella, and he's a cheap option. So I'm just trying to identify the value plays that I like more. I do like DJ Dallas way more than Andy Isabella, like way more. But they're both pretty similar. Are you fitting Edmonds in at all? Not in the captain spot, but I am getting Edmonds in my running back spot for sure. He projects out nicely. I get 25% Chase Edmonds total tonight. Arnold or Greg Olsen for tight end tonight? I have both at 5%. I would prefer Greg Olsen if you force me to pick one. Any kickers at the captain, says Cage. No kickers in the captain spot for me. Not for me. Not today. We're over 1,500 people in here. Yo, if you're watching right now, please hit the like and subscribe button. I greatly, greatly appreciate that, as we're getting very close to 33,000 subscribers. And check out Superdraft. Link down below is Superdraft. If you're not familiar with Superdraft, it is a multiplier format where the best play, my highest projected plays tonight, are the quarterbacks, Tyler Lockett, and both kickers. So you can check out Superdraft if you want some free money bonus, slow drip format up to $1,000 Rooskies. Promo code SAL, S-A-L, will get you that. It is a spot where there's not professionals. We have people in the Discord literally winning every single night, a top 3 finish over the last month. Every single night, we've had one, every single NFL Showdown slate or main slate. Somebody won $25,000. Somebody won $6,000. On Monday, somebody won $4,500. The week before that, we took down the top 2 prizes. The Discord and the Patrons are absolutely crushing it. Check out Superdraft if you want to get a much better chance of winning money, because professionals aren't over there. You're facing people that are at equal or way lower skill level to you, instead of a bunch of people that you're going to be facing tonight that are just honestly doing this for a living. Superdraft strategy, is it wise to play both quarterbacks? I think that's fine, yeah. Not worried at all in regards to Lockett's injury. No, I'm going to project him fully healthy in less than 15 minutes. They tell us otherwise. I don't really know what else we can do. Damn, Sal's giving some bars tonight about life shit. Yeah, man. If I could just talk about on live streams just life from a 24-year-old that has not fully experienced life to any extent, and the people in the chat right now have way more life experience than me, or way more qualified. But then if I could just talk about from my life, the very few things that I've experienced compared to many people, yeah, that's a good thing to talk about, at least in my opinion. I have fun doing that. Yo, fella, since you don't play the $1 Million Maker, what is the ideal contest you play in? So on the Showdown slate, I'm going to be honest with you, everything's shit. Everything shit on a Showdown slate because it's just random. So I like playing 150s to try and embrace that randomness with more lineups when a lot of my opponents aren't. But on the main slate, I play 150s, but my favorite thing to play on the main slate is single entry and 3-max, especially small field contests. So whether it's Showdown, whether it's the main slate, the 1 o'clock, the 4 p.m. only slate, the 2-game slate, look for smaller field entries. Some of them are going to be like $300, some of them are going to be $100. But if you wait and you scroll down on the Draftkings board to where you're not winning $100,000 to first, but you're only winning $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000, that's where I play. I play in contests that have 200 people in them, that have 300 people. That's a $300 buy-in and has 200 people, and you're winning $10,000 or $5,000 for first, $7,500. Or that's a $50 buy-in and there's 600 people in it, and you're winning a couple $1,000 first, but you only have to beat 500 and something people, right? So you're just not going to win long term if you're having to beat out 50,000 people every single contest you're playing. You're not you're not winning. You're not going to win for at least like 15 years sometimes. And that's going to be tough for you if you have to wait that long. Most people won't. But yeah, if you play in smaller field events, you're going to have a lot more sweats more often. You're going to put yourself in the chances to winning more often as well. And you don't have to worry about Joe Schmo at 0.01% going off because nobody's going to have him in those contests. Still any interest with Dallas with Hyden? Yes, I have almost 100% interest in Dallas tonight, 90%. Is he good money tonight, Carlos Hyde? I think he's fine. I get. If I set a rule to not get him with DJ Dallas, I'll get no Carlos Hyde. So that's my concern with the optimizer in 115 tonight. That's the decision point. Do you want to be playing tonight Carlos Hyde? I'm not playing Edmonds and Drake together, but do you want to play Hyde and DJ Dallas together? I think the answer to that is yes, it's okay, but I'm getting 30% of them together, so I'm going to have to set a max on my combination of them. I think playing them together is fine because of how cheap Dallas is, yes. Do you have Dan Arnold or Isabella projected better? Isabella. What's your percentage of Dallas again? I have 91% DJ Dallas in my most recent crunch. Let me see. 91%. I'm not putting him in the captain spot, but if I did let him get in the captain spot, I'd get a lot. So I might have to set some sort of exposures there. Are you playing the Million Maker $500 contest? No, fuck the Million Makers. Just joined. Thoughts on Drake? What is the Million Maker $500 contest? Thoughts on Drake tonight? Yeah, I got 25% of like both of those running backs from Arizona tonight. Smash the like button. Somebody says for my man. Hey, what's up, my man? How you doing? 714 ICM is his name. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Hit that smash, yeah. Ramsey isn't even playing tonight, bro. Are you talking about Patrick Peterson? Yeah, there's no Jalen Ramsey playing tonight. No. You're talking Patrick Peterson for sure then. How do your projections correlate with actual fantasy points scored? How do they correlate with, that's their median projections, so they're 50% outcomes, if that's what you're asking me here. So Carson is officially out. Yeah, inactives come out in 12 minutes, so he's not officially out yet, unless they've ruled that within the past 10 minutes of me looking at stuff. Metcalf and Isabella or Lockett and Myers? I'll go Metcalf and Isabella. I'll take on the upside. How live is DJ Dallas? He's very live. He's going to be in almost every single one of my lineups. Is this how you make a living? Yes, this is my full-time job. I run a business called Vetri Media LLC. I have one contractor and myself, and it does very well as pretty much any e-commerce business does these days, especially if you have any type of media outlet. And something I'm going to talk about in the next vlog episode is just I've probably had about 4 or 5 companies reach out with a buyout offer or just some sort of discussion on like taking an ownership stake in this YouTube channel, and there is just 0% chance that's ever happening. Unless they want to come to the table with a 7-figure deal that starts with a 5 at least in front of it. But if I told somebody that, they'd think I'm crazy, but that's what this shit's worth. So yes, the upside if you have a YouTube channel in any space, but in this space, which is heavily dominated by money because of sports betting and males, 99% male audience that want to spend money on sports betting. If you have a YouTube channel that is pushing legitimate viewership, you are set up very nicely for not just now, but the long term. Anybody selling their YouTube channels for like $5, $10, $50,000, anything less than say 7 figures has no idea what they're doing. Attaboy Sal, what up? I've been watching this stream for 2 years now. I feel like this man will have a big impact on the world soon in a great way. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. All the revenue that we make from like new advertising deals and stuff like that, like I'm fine. I'm secure. I paid off my student debt. I feel secure in terms of retirement, investing, and all that stuff. So I just want to find outlets to put it towards. It's tough during a pandemic to like go and volunteer in places and go and donate money. Like I'm not donating it to just like whatever awareness association. Like I want to donate it firsthand to actually see it being used. I'll buy your YouTube for $70,000. Yeah, not even a chance. That is very close to what we made in the last month and a half. So not even close. 2 months, I guess. Actually, yeah, like 6-7 weeks. For Thursday and Monday slates, should we fade today's game since it's going to be over-owned? Normally, I would say, yeah, like there's a reason to fade the first game on the Thursday to Monday slates because everybody tries to jump on top of it. This game's an exception, though, with a 58 implied total, like the highest of the season. So I would not be fading this game for that reason tonight. You not on Twitch, Sal? I have a Twitch. There's issues with trying to stream from Twitch and YouTube at the same time. It's against Twitch's policy. You can only stream on Twitch independently, or they'll ban your account, basically. And, yeah, I just don't want to be dealing with that shit. I was wondering, how accurate are your projections? Yeah, they're back-tested. They're accurate. I back-test them consistently and constantly to adjust if there's any things that I see wrong. But, yeah, they're back-tested. I like the confidence for sure. Sal, I will give you $1 million. You just have to win the Million Maker. I would say no if you offer me $1 million for this YouTube channel today. I would easily say no. Kyle Ransom donated $10 to the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you. He doesn't even have a question. If you have a question, just let me know. Sal, who do you think will bust tonight? Yeah, I mean, one of those up top guys, right? One of those top players is likely to bust just because they're all expensive and you can't fit them all in your lineup. So somebody, even if like Metcalf scores 14 tonight, it might not be enough at that price point. So I would say one of these Seattle wide receivers is more likely to bust. I would say that I would prefer Hopkins over the Seattle wide receivers. Somebody says, how much are you making from your channel only? I'll do an end of the year business review on the channel and how much it makes. But the channel, I mean, the channel fuels everything. Just like the UFC fights fuel all their promotions and all the other stuff that they do. So everything I make is 95% based off of the channel because it reaches everything. Now, it's not YouTube. YouTube pays me only like 5% of what my yearly is going to be, like not that much a month, like not barely into 4 figures a month in ad revenue. So it's not that much. But yeah, I mean, the channel fuels Patreon. The channel fuels sponsorships, affiliate deals, contracting work from people find me one-off from. How can I work for you? Show me that you have worth. If you could show me that editing videos, you can make them more appealing and keep people engaged and do different things. I have the capital to hire people. Like I have a contractor that helps me on the back end with research and stuff. It just has to be a situation where like somebody can show me that it's worth it. I can't sit here. I don't have any issue to be putting out. I don't have a reason to be putting out jobs. But if you could show me that you can build me a very high functioning website that keeps people engaged and gives me more power than just Patreon does, and we can move people there. Just show me that there's a reason. And I will. Like right now, I'm not actively pursuing any type of jobs, but if somebody shows me like this is a way to help you and this is a way to make your content better, I'm willing to pay. Just somebody's got to show me. What kind of injury does Lockett have? That's actually a good question. I don't even fucking know. I looked on Roto World earlier. Let's see. We're gonna know in 7 minutes as long as he's fully in. I mean, I know why you're asking. I think just in terms of if it's lower body. Let's pull it up now because I don't even remember. Illness for T. Higgins. Where's my man Tyler Lockett at? We scroll. Sal, any props tonight? And do you like the over tonight? I don't have any lean on props or the over or anything like that. I actually didn't look at props for this game, to be completely honest with you. I didn't have the time, and I don't like any of the leans on the over or unders. I usually don't bet the Thursday games unless like it's a obvious situation like the Packers a couple weeks ago when there was stuff going on there. Lockett is a knee injury, so there you go. I could literally listen to this dude for like 2 days straight, says Brian. Too kind. Who do you prefer, Isabella compared to Kirk? Does Isabella's targets concern you? Seems like a dart throw. Yeah, I mean, Isabella's a dart throw. You're hoping that he can land a deep touchdown. He's a dart throw. He's not running a lot of routes. He's just seeing down, and he's not even seeing downfield targets. Like, he's not seeing air yards. For everybody that tonight on Twitter is going to say, how are they playing Larry Fitzgerald over Isabella, right? The people out on Twitter that say that nonstop. One, I agree with you, right? Play the younger guy. And that's what Cliff Kingsbury did. He started giving Isabella more run in weeks 3 and 4, and Kirk was hurt one game. And you want to know what Isabella did? He had 2 drops, 1 brutal drop, and he was running the wrong routes. Right? Like, they were interviewed. Why aren't you playing him more? And he's like, the guy's got to fucking learn the rule book. Like, Larry Fitzgerald, the legend out there, is going to run his route exactly right. Now, he's older. He might not have that same athleticism and might not run the crispest of routes, but he's going to be running the proper routes, and he's probably not going to drop passes. Andy Isabella, as a second-year player, he's not getting on the field. he's just not running the routes. He's not taking advantage of his opportunities. Now, he should have an extra touchdown this year. He's overthrown, I agree. But yeah, like people are going to tell you tonight, how are they still putting Larry Fitzgerald out there in the slot over Andy Isabella? I mean, like if Andy Isabella would have ran the right routes and not drop passes, he'd probably be out there a little bit more. Knee injury. Yeah, so everybody's on the knee injury. Let's go. Let's win some money tonight, says Doug. Shout out you. Larry Fitzgerald, question mark? Yeah, I think Larry Fitzgerald's a fine play tonight. I have 18%. No captain because I question the upside of Fitzgerald. You would need to see like a 2-touchdown game, and he has exactly 0 touchdowns on the season. But yeah, I think that Larry Fitzgerald has the upside in terms of just being in play overall. Who's your most exposed captain? Lockett and Hopkins are pretty neck and neck for me. Sal, I know you have 25% Edmonds. How much Hyde and Dallas do you got? I have 90%, 91% Dallas, and as of my latest crunch, just 5% Hyde. But I actually think Hyde's a better play than the 5% I'm getting. I have to set some sort of exposures because I think I'm probably going to end up with closer to like 25% Hyde, 20% Hyde. Fading Hyde tonight completely, says Joe. I think that's fine too. Yeah, I mean, even if you're playing 150, if you wanted to fully fade Hyde, I'm fine with that. I fully faded Cordell Patterson on that last slate, and I felt completely good until he had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and he still only had like 11 points. The man rushed 10 times for 32 yards. Just a terrible football player, if we're not counting special teams. Does Swain's last performance do anything for you? No. I mean, Swain's last performance just ended up seeing like one more target than he normally does, right? And he brought in his target, so no. Is Lockett out, question mark? We'll know in 3 minutes, but he's leaning towards playing. But we'll know in 3 minutes for sure what's going on with Lockett and all these guys, if there's anybody that's going to be missing. Single entry advice? Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to be fading the quarterbacks in single entry. In the captain spot, that is, not overall. But, yeah, I mean, my single entry lineups are just going to be looking at total ownership in some of my top projected lineups if I was to play. I'm not going to probably play any tonight. Fitz had his best game against Seattle. Yeah, he had 100% catch rate, 8 of 8. 8 targets was by far his most targets of the year, I think. I mean, last game he had 6 or 7. The game after that, I think. I can't remember. Any weather concerns tonight? No, the total's at 58.5. I don't even know if this game's in a dome or not, but there's no weather concerns. Hey, Sal, I'm a Patreon sub and chairman of the Chai Lifeline Mid-Atlantic, an organization that helps kids and families life-threatening illnesses. If you're looking for a charity, please consider us, says Ari. Ari, yeah, reach out to me. If you guys are doing any events, let me know. Shout out to you too. That's a awesome thing to be putting your time towards. Does DK terrible game versus Arizona affect your decision? No, it does not. There's somebody who like tags me on some stats, which shout out to that, I want to say kid, but it's probably like a teenager or something, or a young man. Kyle Williams tags me sometimes in these stats. Like DK versus the Cardinals, 2019, 1 catch on 6 for 6 yards on week 4. Then he got goose egged on 1 target in week 16. And then week 7 this year, he had 2 for 23 on 5 targets. That's all basically against Patrick Peterson. So it's a small sample for sure. It's like 2.5 games because I think he got banged up last year in that game before the playoff stretch. But yeah, it's a small target sample for sure, but Metcalf's gotten the best of him. Not sure if you answered this or not, Sal, but who you fading tonight? I'm just fading the quarterbacks in the captain spot to get different. I didn't take anybody else out of my exposures. So quarterbacks in the captain spot are probably going to be 20+% owned each tonight, and I'll just fade them and hope that one of the wide receivers is the captain. Would you do both quarterbacks in your lineup, Sal? Yeah, I think both quarterbacks is fine. Does Kirk or Moore have more value tonight for you? I like Kirk more than Moore. I like Kirk over Moore, I guess, instead of saying more than Moore. It's in a dome tonight. Yeah, that's what I thought. A newer Showdown player, says Jason Barnes. Should I play more from one team, as in 5 Seahawks and 1 Cardinals, or more 50-50? Yeah, I mean, 5 Seahawks, 1 Cardinals won't hit. 5 and 1 won't hit as much, but when it does hit, not as many people have those lineups. So you just have to take on variance. Like if you're going to be playing one lineup in all your Showdown contests, taking a 5-1 split is really aggressive. You're probably not going to have as much exposure to that build. Like if you're playing 150s and you're just going a lot of 5-1 onslaughts, that probably will help you out. Nobody's going to be playing 5-1s tonight based on the team totals for both these teams. I think playing 4-2s and 3-3s is normally optimal. A lot of guys just hunt 5-1s though. Like a lot of guys who play a lot of money on every single slate will only play like 5-1 lineups or heavy 5-1s and just wait for that lineup to actually hit. Now it's only going to hit a couple times a year, but if they've got like 100 lineups set up for 5-1s, they're going to have a much better time getting to the top of the leaderboard. So for somebody playing only a couple of lineups, if you are as a newer Showdown player, I would play 4-2s and 3-3s. What's going on with the Seahawks running backs? Yeah, so inactives are going to come out any second at 6:50. That's the time that they're due in. But the Seahawks running backs tonight are expected to be Carlos Hyde, DJ Dallas, and then Bo Scarborough is going to be on deck is what the reports were. We'll see if he actually ends up being active for this game. But I believe if they signed him off the practice squad that he's going to be playing. But, yeah, let's see. The Seahawks, they should be coming out right now. How much Lockett do you got? Yeah, I got Lockett as my highest owned captain right now. I have him at 33%. Oh, no. My most recent crunch ends up getting Hopkins now. I got 33% captain Lockett, and then so I have about 60% total Lockett tonight. Seahawks inactives are not out yet. Not yet. But they should be any second now. So no Seahawks inactives. Let's see if the Cardinals have any inactives. I don't think we're waiting on anything specific for the Cardinals. Maybe some of the backup tight ends. Inactives for Seattle tonight. Keyshawn Johnson. Shout out Keyshawn Johnson. Darrell Daniels is out. A depth tight end who has not played. Didn't even play last week, I don't think, since Max Williams has been back. And Brett Hundley. So nothing to worry about on the Cardinals side of the ball. Now we're waiting on the Seahawks for, obviously, the Chris Carson official news and the Lockett official news. 21-year-old news right there. What does that mean? Seattle's not a dome. All right. I didn't know if this game was in Arizona, which I don't even know if that's a dome. All I know is that the point total is 58, and there's not going to be a weather. Weather is only 40% and decreasing chance of rain. Yeah, I'm not worried about rain. I personally don't think that matters at all. Wind would matter, and we haven't seen any drops on this total. Let's look at the total. The total for tonight's game. Is Kirk at captain spot good? I don't have any right now, no. Sal, who do I start, Kyler or Russ? I would prefer Kyler. Hyde and Dallas together, that seems okay. Carson is officially out. All right, so they officially released that information. So the total in this game tonight is now officially at, depending on where you look, 57.5, 58, 57. So, yeah, we haven't seen any line movement in the total right now. What do you project Kirk ownership to be? Thanks, Sal. I currently have Christian Kirk's ownership at approximately, I have him at 22% for projected ownership. I'm pulling up Seattle right now, making sure Lockett's in. Carson is inactive, yeah, as expected. Favorite play, $4,100 and under outside of Dallas, it would be Andy Isabella. Tyler Lockett is active tonight per Adam Schefter 23 seconds ago, so nothing has to be changed for the Patreon projections, rankings, and ownership. If you want to sign up for Patreon, you can find it down below. Check that bad boy out right there. Who's your most known captain? DeAndre Hopkins. How much usage do we think Hyde sees? Worth starting him over Duke and PPR. I'd start Duke Johnson in your season-long league. You got a side on the spread in this one? I do not personally have a side on the spread. Yes, Arizona is in a dome. Yeah. So this game's in Seattle. Yeah, sounds good. What about an Arizona defense on the run? No defenses are in play for me tonight, personally. That's my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I don't got any defenses. Don't have any interest. Stockade kid missing out. That's just how deep he's in the sauce. I don't know what the fuck that means. Stockade kid missing out. What is my man Mike Woodward saying right now in the chat? How much usage? Late to the party, Drake or Edmonds? I think I have like very similar amounts of both of them. I prefer Drake. I have 29% Drake, 21% Edmonds tonight. So I prefer Mr. Kenyon Drake, 17 touches on 18 opportunities in his first game back. They put him right back into his normal role. Favorite Super Draft play outside of quarterbacks and start receivers? The kickers on Super Draft after that. Should I pick Larry Fitz? I think he's in play. I'll probably come in above the field on Larry Fitz or right around it at about 18%. Daniels is out. Correct. Biggest chance to break the slate tonight. The biggest chance to break the slate tonight is probably going to be one of these wide receivers. Either one of the Seattle wide receivers or Hopkins, in my opinion. If you're talking about point per dollar wise breaking the slate, yeah, that man's name is going to be DJ Dallas because he's $600 fucking dollars. Dollar Rooskies, if you will. But yeah, I think some wide receiver is going to break the slate tonight, and it might be relatively early. What we got here? Sal, my guy, check me out on the top of the leaderboard tonight with your channel's logo. Hey, shout out you. Yeah. If you guys want to, I have PNGs of the Big Energy logo, which is that logo in the top corner. It's a lightning bolt and a little bit of an emblem, but it's also an S. That's our Big Energy. Motherfucker. Myers or Gonzalez are must-owns. Yeah, on Super Draft, I like those guys. I have a good amount of them on DraftKings, like 20-25% a piece. Is Dan Arnold in play with Daniels out? I was projecting Daniels out this whole time, so I gave Darrell Daniels 0.2 points today. and that was assuming that he might even play. So no difference for me for Dan Arnold. Still have him at 3.5 points. Appreciate you, Sal. Appreciate you, sir. Arizona has a retractable roof, but it's also in the desert, so rain isn't likely anyways. Gotcha. Seattle's an open-air stadium. Yeah, that's the 12th man, right? Yep. I assume they have no fans tonight. Scroll up. You missing messages, says Mike. I can't scroll that far. I was talking about the dome. Seattle moved out of the dome 21 years ago. Gotcha. Light rain throughout the game. All right. Is it bad if I don't have any quarterbacks in a single entry? No, if you're just playing one line, if you're taking a stance there, you probably should have some running backs. What about the motherfucking kickers, Sal? Yeah, kickers, I got 20-25% apiece. Big up, Sal. Upside on you. Upside on you, Cliff. Best of luck. Been watching forever, Sal. First live stream, though. Yo, Seth, welcome to the live streams. What's up? He says, yo, what's Fitz usage? Larry Fitz usage? If you're talking about like my projection for him, the usage is going to be different. He's in play because he's running so many damn routes, right? I think like last time he ran like 40 routes against this team based on how much that they were passing, and we expect high game total in this one. I have Larry Fitz projected tonight for 8.9 fantasy points. At his price point, makes him a decent play. I think he comes in mid-teens in ownership. This is the route you're getting. You're getting consistent routes. The last 3 games, 40 routes, 27 and 38. Now, obviously, if they have to pass more, he's going to run in the 30s. If they're leading and running more, which is rare for this team, he'll only run, like his lowest routes run this year is 22 in week 6 against Dallas. Other than that, he's run 28 or more in every single game. I guess he ran 27 versus Miami. But Larry Fitz, 3 straight games with 5 or more targets. Basically 5 straight games with 4 or more targets. I think you could expect somewhere around 5 targets for Larry Fitz tonight more times than not. And that's why I have him projected for about 8 points. You bring in 4 to 5 of your targets for 40 to 50 yards. Seems pretty good. I'm fucking crying, says Christian Cruz. Why? What happened? You stub your toe? Carson and Homer are out. Correct. Would you rather put in the captain spot, Isabella or Dallas? Dallas. Larry Fitz or Moore tonight? I have 18% Moore and 18% Larry Fitz. So if you force me to choose one, let's go David Moore for the upside. Hopkins or Metcalf in the captain spot. Huge fan. Love the Patreon, my brother. Hey, Kyle. Shout out a Patreon member in the chat. Round of applause to Kyle being a Patreon member. Shout out you, my man. I would choose Hopkins over DK tonight, personally. Is it bad I don't have any quarterbacks in a single entry? No, I think it's fine. Sal, what reach could be a slate breaker? Love your work. Andy Isabella would be like the cheap option that could break the slate, right? He could have 2 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown, and that's 16 fantasy points at $2,000. Aaron Rodgers tonight for sure. When are we getting the fella shirt, says Kristen. Kristen, I'm going to be honest with you, or Christopher. I'm going to be honest with you. They're done. I want even more designs, but they're done. I got to pay the graphic guy, but they're done. I just got to get my lazy ass to put them in the store. Literally, the logos are done. I just have to upload them one by one to the store, change the names, put the pricing at 20 or 25, whatever you guys think is fair. But these t-shirts are done. Yeah, so whenever literally tomorrow if I upload them. So maybe I'll upload them tomorrow if I have time. If I've had time today, I just forgot. I got to put it on my board. I got a board behind me, and if I remember to put it on the motherfucking board, I'm talking a mile in a minute. I get it right now. If you can understand me, you're a real G. Thanks, Sal. You're the man. You're the man. Shout out to you, Sal. You're the man. Edmonds, Fitz, or a kicker? I'll choose Edmonds. But yeah, I got a whiteboard behind me. If I can remember to put the t-shirts on there, somebody reach out to me on after this. I'll be sure to. How much is the Patreon? It depends on what you want. There's 3 different tiers, a $20, a $35, and a $50 tier. $50 has everything. $35 is NFL with Showdown information plus Discord. And the $20 is all sports but no Showdown or no Discord. As my man Jason Garrett always says, it doesn't matter if we are playing in the parking lot or the moon. Quit worrying about the stadiums and the weather. Hey, yeah, the weather only matters if Vegas tells you it does. And Vegas is not saying so tonight. Oh my God, I'm dying. Why are you dying? You got to survive. You having a heart attack? We can make some calls right now, man. You stub your toe again? Somebody says Patreon. Yeah. Best under $1,000. DJ Dallas. I got 91%. We're living or dying on DJ Dallas tonight. So when he gets hurt in like the 3rd play of the game, 98% actually now. Oh, no. Is this my most? Yeah, 98% DJ Dallas. So when he gets hurt in the 1st play of the game, yeah, just know that I'm probably doing whatever I was going to be doing anyways tonight. Hollister in the Capula is ridiculous in a head-to-head. Huge fan. Yeah, if you're playing a head-to-head, do not be putting Hollister in your captain spot. That is not what you want to be doing. I'm 28 and I listen to when Sal says, read this book. Yeah, man. So on my Instagram, if you want to follow me over there, Sal Vetri, Sal_Vetri, I can put a link in. I have a highlight. If you're not familiar on Instagram, they have these little circles that you click on, and it basically just keeps photos from like a bunch of different times. I have a highlight that has all the books that I've read recently, like within the past 2 years. I don't know how many books are in there. It might be like 30 or 40. But yeah, I am listening to Never Split the Difference, an audiobook right now, and I'm finishing another book that I'm like halfway through, just an actual physical book. I like to split it up. But yeah, I like a lot of books. If I've been rating them recently on the Instagram. I've been like rating them just to give people an idea of how good they are. Maybe I said 40. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Well, I definitely haven't put all of them up here. I would say that I put like 25 on this, maybe 30. But I don't think I put the ebooks on there yet, which I've listened to like 5 of those since I got in it, 5 or 6. Would you go DJ, Dallas, or Hollister if I already have Hyde? Dallas. What positions? How much quarterbacks are you getting? Yeah, so I'm on purpose, actively fading the quarterbacks in the captain spot, but I get 71% Rush and 68% Murray in my utility, which I think will be around the field, maybe a little bit below the field. Reminder, sent in the NFL chat on Patreon for the t-shirts. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll put it on afterwards. Shout out Fanatic. Appreciate that. Thoughts on Brett Hundley and Geno Smith and Singletary? Brett Hundley is inactive tonight, so you're not going to want to play him. I know it's probably a joke, but you're probably not going to play him. Besides Salah, then under 800. I don't know what that means. Hello, says John. Hello, John. What's your lineup looking like tonight, bro? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to just try and put Aaron Rodgers in every single spot. If you can fit it. Aaron Rodgers in every single spot. Unless that guy's stub toe is on the salary marks tonight, then put him in the flex too. Because that thing is swole tonight. And you're probably going to want to take advantage of the questionable tag on that stub toe tonight. How much Dallas at captain do you have now that Carson is out, Sal? I didn't adjust. I've been adjusting for Carson to be out basically all day. So everything's the same. I'm not letting Dallas get into my captain spot. Maybe that's a mistake on my end. I'm just not doing it because I think somebody that scores 30 points tonight is going to be your captain on these slates. 25 or 30 points tonight, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's one of these high-end wide receivers, a running back getting 2 touchdowns. So, like, if I let Dallas in the captain spot, I'll get maybe 15%, and I just don't want that. Now, I can limit that, but I usually don't like limiting stuff because it kind of defeats the purpose of letting the optimizer do its thing. Hey, Sal, if you can see this, say yo. Yo, John Crowell, what up? Just know I don't like my girl watching your videos. She's always beating me on Draftkings, somebody says. That's funny. Fine to play Bo since Carson is out? No. I don't even know if Bo Scarborough sees a touch. No, I wouldn't do it. I think Hyde's going to see the work in Dallas, and then Bo Scarborough will be like maybe an emergency back. I don't even know if Bo Scarborough has been practicing. Just signed up for Super Draft. So as crazy as this sounds, Myers or Hopkins? Yeah, that's the game that you play on Super Draft. I mean, I have Myers projected for 2 more fantasy points than Hopkins, or a point and a half more. Hopkins obviously has the higher ceiling. Like, Hopkins is the guy who can score an extra 10 points like it's nothing, and Myers can't. So Myers is going to be way lower owned than Hopkins. I haven't projected out better than Hopkins because of the multiplier in Super Draft. My projections say Myers, but just know that the ceiling game, the ceiling game on Hopkins is nowhere even near Myers, and you probably know that. I'll go Myers. If Myers scores 12 points tonight, it's going to be pretty hard for Hopkins to outbeat him based on their multipliers. If you can only pick one, Donald Driver or Aaron Rodgers, I really need the answer. Aaron Rodgers for me, for sure. Sending this at 7 p.m. Say, fellas, $1 million Rooskies up for tonight when you see it. Yeah, so it's 7:03, so I'm seeing it 3 minutes later. I have all the messages on a delay. Every 15 seconds you can send a message. Thanks, Sal, you the man. No, you the man. Is Hopkins at captain in single entry a good play? I think so. Thank you for your help. No problem. So you're assuming Dallas gets more touches than Hyde? No, I'm not. I have Hyde projected for more points than Dallas. Sorry, just joined. Who is your most captain player? Hopkins as of right now, my good man. Why Dallas? Because he is going to run 15 to 20 routes. He's going to see 5 or 6 carries. He's going to see probably around 8 to 12 touches as a $600 player. And you never find somebody at $600 going to see 8 to 12 touches in passing game work. And potentially even more running work than I'm projecting him for. Sal, any Drake in the captain spot? Not for me. Sorry, just joined. No problem. I'm from Jersey, Sal. Love your dialect. Yeah. I'm originally from Staten Island, New York. I'm going to be in Jersey. I'm flying into Newark on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. So all my family's in New York for the most part of Jersey. A lot of them's in Jersey. Like, the far majority of them basically are all in Brooklyn, New Jersey, and Staten Island. But a lot of them are in Jersey. Basically, my whole dad's side lives in Jersey. 101.4K in this bitch. Smash that like button, fellas. Yeah. I think we topped out at like 1,550 or almost 1,600 tonight. That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe. I think by this Sunday's main live stream. So if you're just finding me for the first time, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I always like meeting the new peeps that we got in the community. But I think we'll probably hit 33,000 by Sunday. We're at about 32.8 right now. Sunday live stream, we'll definitely get a couple, and then we still have the videos out tomorrow and Saturday. What type of ceiling does Moore have? Thanks. So, I mean, he has a 2-touchdown ceiling based on the fact that he's probably going to run 25 to 30 routes. So, yeah, I mean, Moore's ceiling is in the 20s. It is in the 20s. Now, his likelihood outcome, I have him projected for like around 9, 10 fantasy points. If he scores a touchdown, 15, 16, which has kind of been where his ceiling's been at this year so far. But if a guy's running 30 routes in this offense, he's going to have 2 touchdown upside, especially as talented as David Moore is. 2 attempts with Dallas for Dallas with Collins starting. Now Hyde is starting. Bad news for Dallas? No, because Homner is doubtful, and so is Collins going to be out. And Hyde is also playing not limited, but not with a full deck of cards. And the 2 attempts is not really what you want to be looking at for Dallas last week. So that's where like a lot of people probably won't own him as much as he should be owned. Like anybody building projections tonight is not giving DJ Dallas a ton of work on the ground. Like you're hoping for 4 or 5, 6 touches. Dallas played 36% of the snaps last week. And that was, I think Homer did not miss that game. Now I don't expect Bo Scarborough to touch the ball that much in this one. I don't expect Hyde to be involved in the passing game at all. Dallas ran 16 routes last week, DJ Dallas. 2 catches on 3 targets, right? So DJ Dallas tonight, if he runs 20 routes and he's starting to see 4 targets, 5 targets, he's starting to see a couple more carries, that's where the upside comes in. This is a much better situation tonight than it was last week. The only other running back that can take away his work is a guy coming off of the injury report instead of 3 running backs last week. Just signed up for Patreon! Round of applause. Is it Takesi James? I don't want to mispronounce your name. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sal, what does your single game lineup look like? I'm not playing single entries as of right now, but if I decide to play the 180, I'll just look at some of my top projected showdowns. On these showdown slates, I don't play a lot of single entry and 3-max. I rarely play 3-max. I don't think I have done so far this year. Is Carson out? Yes. I've been living in Jersey for 50 years. Yeah, shout out Jersey. Look, Jersey gets a bad rap from, I think, a lot of people that normally don't go to Jersey or like have people in Jersey that they hate. But I love going to Jersey. Now, I'm biased because a lot of my family, a lot of my friends from college are there. But I like Jersey. I like it a lot. Close to the city, close to Philly, depending on where you are, close to the beaches, close to Pennsylvania where my family lives. So, like, for me personally, I like Jersey a lot. The weather is the big thing. And then, I mean, if you own a home there, your taxes are just fucking ridiculous. But I would be in an apartment if I was to decide to move there. The problem with Jersey, though, like moving from down south, there's a lot of obviously nice, warm cities and trendier cities and cheaper cities. The problem is like moving up to Jersey, like you're literally just paying for the people around you, which could be worth it, especially during a pandemic when it weighs on you not seeing family or friends because you can't travel as much. But yeah, it's tough because of there's like nothing there. Like Jersey, like I mean, if you're not living at like a beach town, which to me doesn't sound that great to be honest with you. Like, where are you living? There's no, like, actual cities in Jersey that are nice, in my opinion. Like Princeton, but I don't want to live there. Any Monkey Knife Fight player props you like tonight? I don't have any player props in. Thursday nights, I usually just play DFS. Thursday nights, I rarely bet on unless there's an exception. Like the Packers game a couple weeks back got the line before it moved after all those San Fran guys got ruled out. Yo, Sal, hook me up with a new car, boss. I got to get myself a new car. I'm still driving my car that I've had it's a 10-year-old car, 10 and a half years. It's got 160,000 miles. Check engine light's been on for like 3 years. Every time I get it checked, it comes off for like a day and then it goes back on. Still driving that bad boy till it falls apart. Do you have much Olsen? Nah, like 3%, 4%. Carson is out. Yes, Jersey repping. Hey, Sal legit got me into golf. Hey, shout out you. You're playing DFS golf this week? Nice. Sal, my G, what's shaking? What's going on? So Bo Scarborough may play but can't use him? Yeah, I mean, if he plays, he'll see like maybe 2 touches, I think. I don't have much interest unless there's an injury. Love it. Raleigh NC here. Nice. Hey, Sal, love the show. What do you think about Alex Collins tonight? He's not playing, so don't play him. Best peeps are in New Jersey. Hollister, a decent leverage play against Dallas? No, I do not think so. Hey, Sal, love the show. What do you think about Alex Collins? He's not going to be in tonight. He's out. Can't trust Pete Carroll. This should be interesting. Hey, Sal, are you in the mob? Next question. Did you order that Black Rifle coffee? I did not. No, I did not. I'm very bad at ordering things. I don't know why. I just hate spending money. I mean, it's probably a good thing. I mean, hate spending money on like stuff for myself. I'll spend money for like other people easily, but on just like stuff for myself, sadly. What's the ownership on Dallas to Hopkins in the captain spot tonight? Oh, I mean, it won't even be close. Like Dallas might be like what, 2% on, 3% on the captain spot. I think that's even high. Hopkins, I would assume, comes in around 15%. Captain spot somewhere around there. I'm behind on the feed, but 100% agree. You're worth it, Sal. This space is about to explode. I think this space is currently in the explode phase, but obviously there's a lot more states that need to be legalized for sports betting, so not fully yet. That one dude, Dallas. I agree. I had him before the stream. Nice. Shout out to you. Jersey is great. I was stationed in the Navy there. Nice. Shout out to you. Thank you for your service and or continued service, Kyle. I appreciate you. Superdraft, Wilson or Murray or fade both? I think both are in play. If I'm playing one lineup on Superdraft, I try to get to both. I prefer Wilson for the better multiplier, but that's about it. It's very close. Voice of an Angel, Yasal runs a Dalaruskis Club. Yeah, we have the Dalaruskis Club pretty large on Twitter. Like, whenever people win it and I just say secure the Dalaruskis, everybody else is just wishing they were a part of this motherfucking cult that we got here. Dion, and also, let's let it be known, CIA, this is not an actual cult. That is a joke. They're listening. Thanks for being a badass, Sal, says Dion. Hey, yo, Dion, how you doing? Dion Newberger? That's a sick name. Hey, Sal, loaded question. What are the cons of winning this Million Maker tax-wise and anything else you can think of? The cons of winning the Million Maker is if you don't know how to properly allocate your money. The cons of winning the Million Maker, getting taxed, that's not a bad thing by any means. You're going to get taxed on it. Like, if you win the Million Maker and then you lose it all in the next month before tax season, you don't got to worry about it. But you're going to get taxed. I'm not an accountant, so disclaimer, none of this should be taken as actually advice. This is me speaking my mind. You get taxed at your personal rate unless you have some sort of weird LLC setup. Not even weird, but LLC setup to where your DK winnings and gambling is seen as like a business profit or expense. I don't know how that works. I don't set up my stuff through my LLC, but you'll be taxed at your income level. So if you're winning $1 million, you'll be taxed at the highest bracket, which is like what, 37.5% or something like that now. So yeah, just get to an accountant, see if you can move money around, see if you can somehow put parts of it in different areas, retirement, reduce whatever. But yeah, you're going to be taxed. Other cons would be just if like people in your life started asking for money, or if it drove you crazy, or you got too into yourself. I don't know. Chase Edmonds or Larry Fitz, Draftkings. I prefer Edmonds tonight. Did we get anything notables for the inactives? Carlos Hyde is out, or sorry. Chris Carson is out. Carlos Hyde is in. Chris Carson is out. Just a reminder, Alex Collins is not playing tonight. He's on the practice squad. They don't want to sign him to a contract. And Tyler Lockett is active. No other real big news. Darryl Daniels is out as well. Also, can you pay the taxes you win with the Millie Maker before you withdraw the money to your account? Keep up the good work. So again, I have no idea. This is not. I'm not an accountant, but from what I understand personally, it's based on the end of the year. Your end of the year taxes. So anything you win right now is not taxable until the end of the year. DraftKings will send you, if you make over $600 in profit on the year. So if you won $17,000 in a tournament, but then you lost it all, you don't owe anything in taxes. You're at a loss. If you're at a loss, or if you're just net neutral, you owe nothing, you didn't lose anything. But if you are up $1 million at the end of the year on DraftKings, at the end of the year, sometime in January, February, or March, they'll send you a 1099 that'll be considered a contractor form, some sort of 1099 something or 1098, and then yeah, you have to pay taxes on that at that point. Somebody says 35% taxes. Yeah, I won the Millie Maker. I won the Millie Maker week 1. It's 33 or 37% tax. Gotcha. Yeah, it depends on your income level, right? In the state, then state you're in, like if you're in California, you're really getting slammed. Scarborough isn't even an option. Correct. Somebody says you're worrying about winning first. Thanks, I'll have a good one. You as well. Is Homer playing tonight? No, he was doubtful. He was ruled out. Tayson donates $5 to the stream. He says, thanks. No problem, man. Hyde might fuck almost everybody in a good or bad way. They send you a 10-9. Correct. Kirk is the Cards wide receiver to own. Trust me when I tell you. All right, sounds good. I have some. You guys aren't winning the Millie Maker, somebody says. Probably not. I'm definitely not. I'm not playing it, but probably not. Who is the must-start player tonight in your opinion? DJ Dallas. Until he fucks us all over, but who cares? I won $3K in $750, and I had to take out 24% in taxes. There you go. Is Freddie Swain a good play? No. Who the fuck cares about taxes, somebody says. I think you should very well care about taxes. I think that if you're in a position that you're comfortable enough that you could actually look into that stuff in your life for whatever's going on, you should be very well aware of your finances and taxes, in my opinion. Down to budgeting. I still budget for like 3 years now. Budgeting, retirement, taxes, all that stuff. I think it's important to know about. What if you win the million, then spend it all before the year? How are you supposed to pay the tax? You don't owe taxes then. If you win $1 million maker and you spend if you spend it on just clothes and stuff, you owe that money. That's on you. That's bad personal finance. If you win $1 million and lose it on DraftKings, you owe nothing. You just pay on the profit that you make on DraftKings that's over $600 at the end of the year. But if you win $1 million and you go spend it on cars and all this stuff, you owe that money to the IRS. And if you don't pay it, you will then owe a lot more money to the IRS. And the IRS is a very bad person to be in debt to, the most scary person to be in debt to. I don't give a shit about Wells Fargo and all these other banks that if you're in debt to them, they'll take you to collections, you'll settle, or you'll have to go bankrupt. You owe money to the IRS? Yeah, you better be damn scared. Sal, what goes on the whiteboard after the stream? Somebody says. Yeah, we got to put the t-shirt designs. I see somebody sent me a message in the Discord, though. I haven't opened it yet, so I'll see the notification. Just joined the Patreon. DK over Lockett. I have, welcome to the Patreon, by the way. Get Wheezy. Round of applause to you for joining. Shout out to you. Yeah, we are going to go. I have more Lockett right now, but I have a lot of both. It is a taxable income. You can deduct your losses over the year from your withdrawal. I think you can only deduct your losses. I mean, I guess you can do it for personal. I've been having to worry about that the last 2 years, but I guess I didn't care about taxes when I was like a junior in college. Alrighty, cool. Start a business and buy assets for said business, then you still pay nothing. False. Don't gamble if you don't know how taxes work, somebody says. IRS won't collect until after a couple of years. That's correct. The IRS is like 3 to 5 years out at the earliest. You won't be audited for like 3 years out, which is strategic on their part, and they'll only audit you if it's below a certain amount. Because they have to spend money to actually audit you and investigate you, and they're not going to spend that if it's not worth the amount they're getting back. And they also want to wait 3 to 5 years or 5 to 7 years, depending on your business, so that you don't have that documentation anymore. And they're just like, oh, you don't have it? Well, this is the truth. You don't have anything to work. Can you scroll the page? Yeah, let's do it. Somebody says, answer some NFL questions, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, BRO, bro. We've been live for an hour and 15 minutes, and the first hour and 10 minutes of it was NFL questions. So you can just scroll back. Because I'm working overtime on the overtime right here because we're talking about some other stuff. But yeah, we've been live for an hour and a half. And the first hour and 20 was the NFL question. So if 2 of the minutes answer somebody's tax question that they have that I'm not answering as an accountant, just a person here, just a friend that's giving no advice but just his own opinions, you'll end up in prison if you don't. We got a whole tax conversation going on right now. Everybody. Literally, Captain Hopkins and David Moore, Captain Lockett and Kirk. I'll go Hopkins and David Moore. Uncle Sam cares about your taxes. IRS is reasonable, somebody says. Sal, my man, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, so I think we're going to bounce. We've been live for way too long. Game starts in an hour. I got to finish some stuff up. I got to shower. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe before you go. Be sure to support on Patreon if you want. And sign up for Super Draft. Promo code SAL gets you that free money bonus. It's a slow drip format, I believe, so you get it as you play. Cancels out the rate. Get a little more money in your account as you go. SAL gets you that. So I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you. Peace out, gang. We'll have the final thoughts video up tomorrow. That one, dude, Saturday. And then closing thoughts for Patreon goes up Sunday morning, as well as the Sunday morning live stream from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And then it's Thanksgiving week, and I cannot wait for Thanksgiving. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.